Okay, now we're going to add the line at the bottom. We're going to add a little bit more text, and we're going to add the text boxes for the email input. This is pretty much going to finish up what we're doing. Now, before we do that, one thing that we need to make sure that we always do is that we are saving the diagram. And just hit save. And Cuckoo will go ahead and save it, and in the lower right hand corner you see that it was saved, and sometimes you have to click off of these because they don't go away on their own. So to draw a line, we need to go to the line tool, and this is just new line. Again, hover your mouse over it and it will show you the tool tip. That's what this piece of information is. And we're going to click on it, and then let's go ahead and just draw a line. Now, when you draw a line, you click and you hold down, and when you release, that's where the line has been created. To create a straight line, you're going to want to hold down Shift before you click, and then hit and then click, and then draw a straight line. If you use Photoshop, it's the exact same thing. If you're doing proportionate scaling of images in almost any piece of software, you're also holding down Shift. So we have the line, and again, let's pull up the inspector tool. This eye up here adds the inspector tool, and right there, that's the stencil tool. And we're going to go, and as we can see, actually, it's not selected. So we're going to select it, and we have a thickness of 1. We're going to keep it at that. For the width, though, we want this the width of the page. Now, instead of just dragging it, we're going to make it a 0, and we can, to make it very precise, we can do that, or we can just remember or look at the elements. This one is 400. This one is 50 right here for the height. This image is 400, so that's 450, which is exactly the Y position of the line itself. So now we have the line, it's created the separation, and we want to add the text for the page. And you can add whatever text you want, or you can just come to the website itself and you can copy and paste. So copy and paste. Now, whenever you have a text box, you can actually create each of the different. You can create different font sizes within the box itself. So what I would say is just play around with it, and also we want to keep this centered. So we have to click off, and then we have to select it. And again, a lot of this stuff you're already familiar with it. If using Microsoft Word and just formatting a Word document, you're already familiar with a lot of the tools that are being used here, and a lot of the way that you're formatting, especially text. Clicking off and then coming back allows you to recenter. I'm using the up and down arrow. So play with this. That's really going to be the best way for you to learn how it works. And again, the text tool is pretty straightforward. And then if we actually look at the example page, we have like button, share button from Facebook. We have the Twitter tweet and follows. Now, if you want, you're not able to actually copy and paste that image. You could do a Google search, and you could do Facebook like button, and you could actually go and you find the images, and you could you could actually add the image that you want for the like button. And it's the same thing that we did for the image insert. Just for the sake of time, I'm just going to draw this out and do it pretty quickly. Let's make it 30. And I mean, it's again just following the steps that we've already gone through. I just wanted to make sure that the color is correct, so the color is good. And now, one thing that you can do is if you create a shape, you can double click on the shape and it will allow you to type text. Now, this isn't something that you're going to want to do in most cases, and the reason why is you oftentimes need to have the text separated from the shape itself. So for instance, the company name, let's say that you decide that you don't want it placed here. Maybe you want it in the center. Maybe you want it to be a logo. Maybe you want it to be on the right hand side. Whatever you want it to be, having separate elements, it's often called layers. It gives you a lot more flexibility for moving things around. And it's going to be very important, especially whenever you start making changes and edits to your document. So for this, we're just going to put it back. We had it off by 10. I would say keep that in mind. Use it discriminately whenever you're going to actually associate the text itself with the shape. Now, in this case, what we can do is we can actually we can select the shape, we can hit copy, and then we can actually paste. And if you're using a Mac, it's Command C for copy, Command V for paste. On a PC, it's Control. And then we're just going to write share. And again, this is really just more visual representation of what the elements are going to look like. Now, for both of these, we're actually going to change them. We're going to make them a gray. And as you can see, I had both of the boxes selected, and I was actually able to change both of them at the same time. You can use that if you're updating a couple different elements that have or shapes that have similar features. That can be useful. So they say tweet and follow. So tweet, follow. So now we have the buttons, and again, place them wherever you think is appropriate. To select multiple items at once, just hold down Shift, and that allows you to select more than one shape at a time. So for instance, if we want to do the image and we want to do the nav bar, then you can select multiple items. Another trick is to, you can actually, if you click your mouse almost anywhere on the page, as long as you haven't selected something, you can drag it and create an area to select all the items and all the elements. So, so if we wanted to just move this entire block up and down, we would select it all, and we would just move it up and down as we saw fit. Let's go ahead and save. Great. So now the site actually is. I mean, it looks very, very similar to the top of the page that's online. And this is actually the process that I went through for creating this page. It's very applicable, and you'll see as we start to build this out a little more how useful this can really be. So now let's click on the page, and I'm just scrolling down on the canvas. And we have a little bit more space. Now we're going to go ahead and create the area where we have people sign up. And let's just change the color as we did before. Now for this box, if you want, since we have it centered and it's a part of the shape itself, you can go ahead and just double click in there and then sign up to hear about our launch. And again, you can use whatever text you want. On the website, we use slightly different text, but that's okay. White just shows up a lot better on this blue, and 24 fits perfectly. So now we have the that area set up, and we're going to let's see, do we use rounded? Yes, so we have rounded boxes, and we'll show you how to create these boxes in CSS. It's actually pretty simple. We use another tool out there, a reference guide called Twitter Bootstrap, and it has a lot of great CSS elements, and just helps you really set your page up a lot more efficiently, and to make it look really clean and professional. So we have the box, and if we actually look here, it's a light gray border, so we can change the color of the border. We'll make that a light gray. So let's make it a slightly darker gray. There we go. And then we need to add the type tool so that people know what they're going to add in here. Now, as you can see, I tried to change the size of this font, but I didn't have it selected. So either you have to have the element selected or you have to have the box selected. Change that to 24. Yeah, we'll keep it there. Let's make it a lighter font. And then let's just recenter that. So good. And then we have a sign up button. And a lot of times, Cuckoo is going to help you center things so that you don't have to consciously think about, are these things aligned? Are they where they need to be? Border is going to be the same color as the other one, and this we're going to make it a lighter gray just to have a little bit of separation to keep it clean. And then sign up. Select that. Let's make it 24. This isn't wide enough. And we're probably going to want to make this black so that people can see it. Okay, so we'll keep it black. Just center that a little bit more. And now we have the sign up button. So the page is pretty much almost done. We can add for the last element, we can make the bottom to put the copyright information. And as we can see, the y-axis is at 655. That's where it's starting from, and then it's ending at it should be 705. So for now, I'm just going to go to the properties, and we're going to change this to 705, and just hit update, and it goes ahead and changes the canvas and makes it exactly the size of the page itself. And we're going to go ahead and just fill this in, and I'm sticking with the blues just to kind of keep everything consistent, but you can choose whatever colors that you think would be best for your page. And then we're just going to say copyright 2014. And usually you'll put your company name, Now, if you want to do the copyright symbol, and I'm going to just show you how you can look up all of these pieces. Google is an incredible resource for just looking up how to do certain things. There are a lot of different references for building things out. So if you actually go into Google and you type in copyright symbol, so you can actually create it with text. Now, if you're on a Mac, you can hit Option G. If you're on a PC, you can use Alt 0169. So go ahead and if you don't get it to work, you may have to Google it one more time just to see. But Option G, and now I have my copyright symbol. So now we're going to drag this down, and we don't necessarily need the comma. So now let's change the color. Boom, make it white. And we now have finished our page. So now you have you've created your first wireframed website. Congratulations. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to export.